We've recently had some queries about the use of templates in the gCADPlus environment. As I suspect you know, if you click File and New, or the New option on the standard toolbar, you're presented with a range of template drawings. The number you have there may vary according to the version of gCADPlus that you've downloaded, but in this instance, as I have 4 preloaded, and I see in the right-hand side a preview of those templates. So the idea is you can pick a template and open it up, and you're in an environment where you can begin to work using the contents of that template. So I'll close from that drawing and return to the standard gCADPlus environment. Well, let's imagine that I'm working in a landscape consultancy and I've been working on a drawing environment that I like, one that I'm comfortable with, and that drawing environment might be set such that the distance from one side of the design space, in this case, is 270 metres to 70000, so I can cope with a site 250 metres in diameter. Let's imagine I work on broad scale landscape design. I have set up some line types of the type that I want to work with. You can see a gas line there and a telecom line and so on. I've set these up. I've also set some text styles and named them, and I have some fonts that give me a hand-drawn view. I've also gone to Format and Layouts, and I've set up 2 layouts, an A1 landscape and an A1 portrait sheet, because these are the size sheets that I normally work on. So if I look at the A1 sheet, I've got some text, proposed site plan, the scale information, and I haven't put a logo in, but I've put some information in that title block. So this is a fairly formal sort of design practice. Here's an A1 portrait. So these are large, broad scale applications. So this drawing can be saved, and you just save it as a normal drawing. And what I'm going to show you now is how you set gCADPlus up to look at this file. So I'm going to save it in a folder called Biosphere, and I'm going to I'll close that particular drawing and close this one and say, no, I'm not going to save any changes. So I'm back in the normal gCADPlus starting environment. I'm going to hit the File and New, and instead of picking one of the templates here, I'm going to choose dir here, the directory. Now, on the C drive, I've made, let me just see if I can get to it a little easier. Let me see if I can get to the local C drive, and here's Biosphere, and I'm going to pick the templates. That's where I've put the drawing. So I'm telling gCADPlus from now on, don't look in the standard directory for templates, use this one. So now when I say, I can click back in here, I've now only got one template there, and I can say OK, and we're immediately into this environment. I actually saved it with the initial drawing space with a white background. I'd probably prefer that to be a black background, so now I can see whether I'm in a layout space or not. Speaking of layers, I've got just those layers that I like to work with. They all start with L, indicating they're all landscaping. Some of them have some line weights associated with them. And remember that, and they're fairly heavy, and remember that I normally print on quite large A1 sheets. So in that instance, I've got a template that runs for me. Well, let's take another example. I've set my template to look at one called LHFA, and that's the folder that the templates are stored in, and I can say OK. Here's our model space environment. Here's an A3 portrait environment, so you can see the design consultancy name there, A3 landscape, similar sort of title block, A2 portrait and A2 landscape. Once again, the layers that this designer likes to work with are shown. Similarly, the text styles are all added. It is also possible, and I am digressing a little, to go to Tools and Set Library Paths, block library paths. You can actually change and point your copy of gCADPlus to look for its own symbols that you develop in their own folder, and named plant symbols or sized plant symbols, or even design work that you've done in the past and you want to reuse. You can also separate those out from the normal gCADPlus location and set your own location. So I hope you see that using templates can really improve your productivity.